All right, parents, here we go again. It's the Ask Dr. Tony episode. This is the Experience Miracles podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Tony Ebel, an expert in pediatrics, neurodevelopmental disorders, and drug-free, nervous system-focused healthcare. On this weekly episode, I'll be addressing the top questions on every parent's mind. If there's one thing we love and welcome, it's parents who never stop learning, asking the hard questions, and advocating for your kiddos like none other. So get ready for some real talk, real-life clinical and parenting experience, and real easy to understand answers that will help your family take action and get to that next level of health and healing. You ask, I answer. Let's dive into today's episode. This episode of the Ask Dr. Tony show, this question has been coming in a bunch, and I kind of get the seasonality of it. It's parents, adults, asking the question, which I love that we are so focused on helping your kids that you feel like you got to ask this question, because maybe we don't. But the question is, do PX docs, do you guys take care of adults too? Can nervous system focused care, can this real root cause foundational nervous system approach to chiropractic, can it help adults? And we've got that question a bunch. I think the seasonality of it is I'm wearing my Made for More hoodie here today because it's the middle of winter. So we are all, a lot of us are even home with our kiddos again today because it's so cold, there's no school. Or it's down in the South in Houston and Florida, you're getting snow and there's no snowplow in the States. So we're stressed. Not maybe, it's pretty true. Extra in the middle of winter. And we're stressed when we can't get outside. We're stressed when we, so it piles on. And all of us probably rolled into this season with plenty of stress. And then if you're following this, this platform and this podcast on the regular because your child has some chronic health challenges, autism, seizures, whatever it may be, okay? That just creates a level of emotional stress for us as parents that goes far beyond work stress, the typical busy stress, keeping up with sports schedules, school schedules, everything else. So let's just call a spade a spade. This generation of parents is more stressed than ever before. So before I get into my 6 steps, and then we got some questions about specific conditions. Hey, can what you guys do with PX Docs, can you help with anxiety as an adult? Can you help with ADHD that I'm struggling with as an adult? A lot of dads, a lot of moms are taking ADHD and anxiety and different medications in that department and really want a drug-free, just effective, safe, natural option. So a lot of questions around that. And honestly, I think a lot of us just struggle with exhaustion and brain fog. And now the 2 things I just talked about before, anxiety and ADHD as an adult, it's a very real thing. A lot of people go with. But even if you maybe scale it back just a little bit, brain fog, exhaustion, just every day feeling like you've got no mojo, no get up and go. You've got a million things to keep track of, but your brain is just literally, running on fumes. Brain fog is as real as rain, I find, with our parent and adult population. So I've got, just like when I did the newborn one last week, so we're swinging the age pendulum, not all the way. We're not doing I don't know that live video will ever happen or podcast will ever happen on this podcast of saying, hey, what about okay, I'm just going to move on. Meaning we're going from babies to adults, okay? Now, I just want to let you know, my parents and many, many grandparents experience incredible benefits from chiropractic care. Not my area of expertise, so that's why I don't think there'll ever be a podcast on it, okay? I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad, and I love all the other grandmas and grandpas out there, but we're going to need another expert to dial that in for you. Okay, back on track to families and talking about our kids and then talking about our own health. The truth is, I want to start with an emphatic yes. This kind of nervous system focused care is going to be the missing, holy heck, how did I live my life without getting adjusted before unlock? The craziest thing about chiropractic for adults and stressed out parents is this. Those who receive regular, ongoing wellness, nervous system focused chiropractic care are the most beholden and obsessed to it. Raving fans, there's books that they talk about in marketing. It's like how you want to create raving fans. I'm telling you, when you live your life with your nervous system dysregulated, when you live your life exhausted, migraines, headaches, sleep challenges, lack of energy, brain fog, anxiety, when you live like most adults and most parents today, And then you get real, full throttle, kick-ass chiropractic care. And you get an entire transformation of your brain function, your nervous system, your mojo, your sleep, your energy, all the things I'm going to talk about in the 6 steps. You become, actually, a lot of you go back to chiropractic school and are just like, I've got to deliver this for everybody else as well. Because the experience, that's why we name it the Experience Miracles Podcast, and even our company that teaches and certifies other chiropractors is the pediatric experience, which is really the family experience. It's unbelievable the contrast of life experience from parents, because every parent I know is busy. Every parent I know has a lot on their plate. Every parent I know grew up with the standard American lifestyle, trusting medicine, trusting big food, and goodness gracious, are we on a massive transformation there. But I actually want to speak to that before I get into the 6 steps. So the truth is, a lot of us start with really poor health. So when we experience really great health, that contrast is something that you literally just never want to live your life without. So what's nuts about chiropractic care, and it's been this way actually for generations, is only, and it depends on the study and the research you look at, whether it's 8% or up to 18%, only about, let's say 2 out of 10 adults get chiropractic care. And we'd actually have to whittle that down. A lot of that numbers are just going occasionally versus like nervous system focused chiropractic care. I'm going to talk about on this one means like it's a foundational part of your healthcare routine. It's more important than even your supplements and your sauna. And hey, everybody out there, I love my supplements, and I now love my sunlight and sauna. Sweet little baby. Oh my goodness. How did I live without that? It's incredible. Okay. But they don't pale. They have no comparison at all to the impact they make on my overall health and the function of my nervous system to getting adjusted on the regular once or twice a week at minimum as an adult. So I just want to give you honestly a real big picture potential look ahead to say, the transformation you will experience with your own health getting adjusted, mom and dad, is something that will be hard to describe. I'm going to give you 6 different benefits and 6 different components that parents report to us all of the time when getting under care, because we do adjust adults. We're 60% pediatrics in our office, and the average PX office is about 40 to 50%, which means half and half, right? Round out that math. So it's a whole family care. Roll into that parking lot, get that minivan on 2 wheels, hit those buttons, sliding doors, kids jump out, come on in, get on the table, and you join them. That's what we're going for with this. And I want to paint one more big picture important thing. Parents, when we have on this podcast and this platform, when we talk about, hey, I've tried everything to help my child get better and they still aren't, let's apply the same reality to us. How many of you have done all your hormone panels, all the oat tests, all the gut zoomers? How many of you have done all sorts of blood work, lab work? You've seen traditional medical doctors and maybe taken this for your thyroid. You've seen functional care and you've done these IVs and these supplements for your thyroid and for your adrenals and for your hormones and for your metabolism and for your inflammation. And you've tried this diet. You've counted your macros. You've gone to yoga. You've gone to CrossFit. You've tried every workout, every diet, every supplement, every sauna, everything under the sun for your own health. The reason that I know that the number 1 downloaded episode and the number 1 kind of keynote we've always given is when nothing else, what's missing. I know that that really strikes a chord with our audience because it doesn't just apply to your kids. It really applies to you as well. I meet so many moms, and it's definitely more on the mom front than the dads. We're a little behind the times sometimes with this kind of like focus on our health sort of thing. Now, don't get me wrong. When we show up and get in the game, we're like, let's go all in. But we're spending thousands on supplements and detox kits and things for our own health, bioidentical hormones, you name it. And we're probably getting some incredible changes. We're probably experiencing some things. But when I talk to parents every single day in my practice, they're still just riddled with anxiety and stress. They're still feeling like they can't ever get ahead. They still have constant aches and pains and tension headaches, and their shoulders in between the shoulder blades and their traps are just constantly killing them. They can't sleep. They can't fall asleep. They can't stay asleep. They can't get good energy, which I know isn't good English right there, but they can't get their mojo going is what I always call it. And then I want you to just pause for a second and look at folks who are rocking it and find out what they do different. And so when we get into this, I want you to know that it's the same story for your health, your energy, your sleep, your inflammation, your gut health, your hormone health, as it is the conversation we continually have with your kiddos. It may not be the diet changes, the detoxes, the supplements, and the saunas that get you there. It may really very well be that you need to get adjusted and get rid of your nervous system disorganization, dysregulation, and dysfunction as well. And that very well may be the magic unlock that changes your life. So I know that parents are very busy, very stressed. Maybe you do have a little bit of ADHD and a little bit of anxiety or a lot of bit of it, and it's hard to go through this. So what I want to do is rapid fire over the next 10 to 12 minutes, the 6 reasons why stressed out. And here's our nickname for us in this generation of parents. And it's a bit too real. So just hang with me. We got you. You got this. We are wound up and worn out at the same time. That is this population of parents. And if we think we're just going to remove toxins, change diet, jump in the sauna and do a cold plunge and get rid of our wound upness and worn outness, what I have found is that is surface level stuff to try and fix our nervous systems and our energy and our metabolism and our inflammation. We have got to dive deeper to get ourselves better, just like we talk about with our kiddos. So here are the 6 things that parents report to us all the time that they experience once they start getting nervous system focused chiropractic care. And I'll give you a little breakdown of exactly the neuromechanics, if you will, as to how these benefits come about. All right. Number 1, reduced stress and anxiety. I actually like to better describe this one as improved resilience, improved adaptability, because stress and things that would make us anxious are the most normal parts of our life ever. So what causes us to feel stressed and feel anxious and feel depressed and feel emotionally dysregulated is not only the amount of stress we're up against. It is the inability to adapt to it, to respond to it, to have as a more open-minded, positive, optimistic perspective. And no, I'm not talking about self-help books and CDs and meditation classes. I'm talking about how your brain is actually functioning or not. When subluxation, which is just chronic, sympathetic, fight or flight stress, dysfunction, and dysregulation gets locked into your nervous system. Most of you are very fully, for years, if not decades, locked into a perpetual sympathetic fight or flight vicious cycle. And that's called subluxation. Subluxation in this prolonged, continuous fight or flight response overwhelms the nervous system and it leaves it in a hyper-aroused, hyper-anxious state. So now everything sets you off. Stuff that when you were growing up, maybe there was none of this, and you were the cool as a cucumber, laid back, relaxed, fun, joyful. And as a parent, you want to get back to that. You want to be the non-anxious parent. You want to be the non-stressed parent. You want to be the joyful, exuberant, happy, let crap roll off your back parent. Well, the key is to get rid of that subluxation and get rid of that sympathetic nervous system dominance and get the parasympathetic rest, relax, regulate, and respond with adaptability. And really the parasympathetic vagus nerve side of the nervous system is the response, regulate, and really resilience side of the nervous system. So chiropractic gets in and we make adjustments that we know will release stuck tension on that sympathetic fight or flight system. And we also know PX docs, nervous system focused chiropractors, know exactly how to stimulate the parasympathetic rest, relaxation, vagus nerve, digestion, sleep side of the nervous system. So the benefit is feeling more relaxed, feeling less anxious, and much better equipped to handle those daily stressors. Number 2, probably should have started with this one. This number 2 on my list of 6 benefits parents experience is actually what they report the most, because number 2 is the catalyst to pretty much all the rest of these. Number 2 is improved sleep quality. And when I say improvements in sleep, we mean falling asleep gets a whole lot easier, getting full, complete, restful, recharging sleep. And the coolest thing about this nowadays is we track these changes in our office with parents. They get insight scans too. We use thermal, we use EMG to find their tension and their stress points. And then we measure HRV to find out how wound up and worn out are they. And what we also know is in today's world, a lot of you rock stars, especially if you're in our ecosystem, really focused on nervous system health and regulation. Maybe and again, podcast here for a lot of you when you're catching this, but maybe you've invested in a Whoop, an Oura Ring, a Garmin, or an Apple Watch, and you're tracking your sleep. Pay attention if you're not yet under care, or even the couple of days after you get adjusted. You will see, even though that those devices, which I love, I'm wearing one right now, I'm a Garmin fan, they are not near as in-depth and accurate as the HRV technology we use in our office. It's kind of a very rudimentary version, but it's pretty good at tracking sleep, especially Oura and those things. You will see a massive improvement in your self-reported sleep. Like, goodness gracious, I can finally fall asleep. I can finally stay asleep and I'm not so restless. So I wake up more energetic, more recharged is what patients tell us all the time. But you can actually track this with those nervous system tracking devices. So the benefits of better sleep, come on, I'd have to stay on this one for another 45 hours to tell you all the benefits of improved sleep. But your mood, your energy, your resilience really comes there for sure. Number 3 on this list. This one's essential for me. I choose, like, actively, intentionally to live my life forever forward with high amounts. Like, I will never not be under the highest level of nervous system focused chiropractic care. In fact, I don't only get adjusted once a week. I'm a hard charger. I use my brain and nervous system. God has called us, our favorite verse, it hangs up, in our dining room in the house for us and the kids to see all the time. To whom much is given, much is expected. God gave us in this family this understanding of nervous system focused chiropractic care. We have experienced ourselves. So I'm all in. I don't think I need to tell anybody who's listened to even maybe one episode of this or followed us at all. I'm all in for this mission and vision. And I've got a lot of hats that I wear in that. And I'm taking care of patients let me go in the right order. First off, my family means the world to me. And I love to be highly focused, very connected emotionally, cognitively, to my kids and to my wife at all times. I want them to expect a lot out of me. And I want them, most importantly, to get a lot of energy, to get a lot of just connection and regulation out of me. And then it's patients. I see patients 2 to 3 days a week in the clinic. And I teach other chiropractors, fly in Atlanta to have another 70 docs get certified because we need to get them ready to take care of you, and then getting this message out to you. So long story short, I don't like talking about myself, but it's a good case study to go, if I didn't have an optimized nervous system function, my brain fog, because I am full throttle ADD, ADHD, sensory kiddo. I did not have this level of mental clarity and focus, not even in the stratosphere, even when I was younger. And when your brain is, supposed to be a little more optimized, right, by neuroplastic status, I struggled with lack of clarity and focus and brain fog. I also have gone through Lyme's disease, acute, and then got secondary really during a very busy time in my life where I wasn't taking as good a care of myself with the kind of chiropractic care that I was getting. I was getting rudimentary, kind of more basic chiropractic care instead of nervous system focus. And that secondary Lyme's got in, and it got a hold of my brain, and it caused my brain fog and mental fatigue to come back, along with some dead legs and kind of just overall exhaustion. So how does this work? Subluxation gets in the way of brain to body and really just nervous system communication and efficiency and processing. So when you're getting your nervous system regulated and optimized through nervous system focused care, you are going to have get ready for a freaking promotion. You're going to be like, well, that's a bit much. I'm not kidding. Get ready to start another company. You entrepreneurs out there, I know you, Aaron and others, get ready, because when your nervous system is optimized, God says, I got stuff for you to do. If you're dialed in now, let's go. Get ready for a promotion. Get ready for a raise. Get ready for a side hustle. Get ready for another business, because you will have this mental clarity and focus, more concentration, quicker problem solving, the clarity. It's insane when parents get adjusted, how much they get out of that. And then number 4, I'm going to go through this in 40 seconds or less, and I shouldn't. It's just not my mission. Number 4 is as real as rain. The benefit to getting chiropractic care is reduced, so pain relief and reduced muscle tension. And let's be real, I probably don't get to speak to this one so much. I got adjusted. I started getting care around 19, 20 years old, and I had a real bad shoulder, a lot of pain, but it was like the first easiest thing to go. And it wasn't, I guess for me, the loudest miracle in my own experience was how much my ADHD and sensory, my brain-based stuff got optimized, and I could never sleep. So I just, that has been such a change. So I kind of forget how powerful chiropractic is in this physical pain, muscle tension. And a lot of you have constant daily tension in your neck, your shoulders, your back, your headaches. You got TMJ, you grind your teeth at night. Your low back is killing you, dad. Your shoulders, ankles, you name it. Goodness gracious, you get adjusted, it gets better. And there's so many benefits to this, because if you're taking Tylenol and Aleve and those pain relievers, it just destroys your body's detox pathways. If you're going beyond that and you're taking migraine medications or worse, right? Like prescription pain relievers and opioids and surgery, that's just it's a perfect storm all in of itself. So number 4, for sure, chiropractic care has incredible physical benefits. You are going to have so much more physical flexibility, reduced pain, and those challenges. Number 5 is really the parlay of all of this. You get so much more energy and resilience. And if you've been listening this whole one and you're thinking, I think he said that already with number 1. And then when he was talking about with number 2, we're going to get better sleep. Wouldn't that give us more energy and more mojo? And if we had better mental clarity and focus, number 3, wouldn't that give us more energy and mojo? And then number 4, if I didn't have this freaking chronic pain in my shoulders, my neck, and headaches, wouldn't I have more energy and more resilience? Yes, which is why number 5 is the net gain. And it's the thing that we are spending, do you know how many billions are being spent again on magnesium and zinc and B vitamins and B12? I know how much it costs to go in and get hooked up to that IV and get a couple of days at best of some physiological mojo. Try having that mojo all the time, because you're under chiropractic care, the right kind, nervous system. Guys, my energy and my resilience, it's not because, let me give credit to God made me this way, yes. But also because God made me such a raging bull, sensory, ADHD, high energy, which is, by the way, your kids and many of you are the exact same in this way, and I love you for it. Yes, that's how you're designed. That's what God's creation for you has been. But when you are a raging bull hard charger, you are also more likely to deal with emotional dysregulation, anxiety, and ADHD. You're more likely to deal with sleep difficulties. You're more likely to deal with headaches and muscle tension because you run hard. You're more likely to run out of gas. So if you want just personal to person, just dad of 4 kids with a full throttle life, and I never call it busy, it's productive by design. Other people call me busy and I kind of smile on the inside and go, I got you. I get that. I guess that definition works, but I'm dialed in. And it's chiropractic care, the most homer of answers I could give you. That is my cheat code. And you have no flipping idea how badly I want it for not just your kids, but I want it for you. This experience I have as a parent. I've got 2 teens, a tween, and a 10-year-old named Tiny, who if you look at her wrong, she's taking you out of the legs. Okay, you got to bob and weave with this kid. She's so sweet, but she's spicy. So you got to have your nervous system. You cannot roll with Tiny subluxated. Not recommended, okay? You got to be literally fully optimized and regulated on your toes with this one, all right? And so I know what it's like to be a busy parent. But most importantly, the thing I can share with this world is I know what it's like to be an optimized, fully nervous system regulated parent. It's probably the nerdiest way you've ever heard anybody talk about parenting. It's the number one thing I want for you so bad. These benefits that I really went through here pretty quickly here today, I want to do a podcast on each of them and how much you and your teens and your young adults and your kids. It's great. This list of 6 is exactly for our kids too. And if you've been counting with me and you're thinking, well, geez, Tony's pretty good at talking about the nervous system and science and real life, but he can't count because he just did 5 and he keeps saying 6. I'm intentionally saving number 6 for this overtime kind of PS message. You want a cheat code, a hidden in plain sight cheat code to getting your child to fully heal and get to the other side of their storm? Join them on the table getting adjusted. There's something called co-regulation, and actually number 6, this cheat code, this absolute boost that your child's nervous system will experience and real life, real science go through when you take care of your health too. I'll never shut up about it. And I am going to do an entire podcast about it. We've actually talked about it on quite a few of our guest interviews. Beth Lambert, we talked about it with Documenting Hope. She brought it up. Dr. Sharina brought it up, the emotional trauma we go through as parents when our kids get sick, and how us getting on the table, getting our nervous system, getting our healing going is literally, because here's how it works. Real brief, and I'll give you a real deep dive episode into this conversation of co-regulation. And it isn't just for when you're nursing. Our whole families are either dysregulated together. Stress spreads. Chaos spreads. It turns out it really wasn't. I was going to make a bad COVID joke, which is a real COVID joke. Doesn't spread like they told us. You don't have to maintain distance, and okay, stop. But it would be a very accurate joke to bring that back up, okay? Although it wouldn't probably help our stress. So the truth is, stress, chaos, dysregulation within our nervous systems, it doesn't just stay within our nervous systems. It goes to the whole family. Well, in closing, so does the good. So does regulation. So does positivity. So does optimism. So does confidence. And so does hope. So I want you to know that you're going to get this episode, I think just one episode drop ahead of our anniversary episode. And on our anniversary episode, I am going to literally get into the neuroscience of hope. But one of the things that's within that is it's really hard to have hope when your nervous system is hanging on by a thread, when your health isn't there, yourself, mom and dad. And so one of the first things we do with our words is we tap into your hope and we rebuild it and we restore it. And it's very intentional and it's very neurological and it's very real and it's very, really important. But if we can get you adjusted to and get your nervous system optimized and get you under care, the amount of full family healing, how much of a catalyst that is. And I kind of have fun with that little Mario Kart reference, little cheat code to healing for your kiddos. It's unreal. The benefits are hard to even describe, which is why I'm going to come back and I'm going to do an entire deep dive episode about co-regulation and really how families, it's going to sound corny when I say this in closing, but it's real. Families that heal together, families that get under care together really, really, really do heal together. And it's incredible how much it helps everybody individually move forward. Now I want to sneak this in overtime. You're going to get this drop here. We do our Q&As on Fridays. So from the podcast listeners, you're going to get this with about a week left in January. Pretty much everybody in our PX Docs network does something all January long called Gift of Health, okay? So you're not supposed to put kind of time-sensitive stuff into CTAs and action calls at the end of these things, but I just want you to get under care so stinking bad. And I know you're prioritizing your time. You're putting all of your mental focus, all of your energy into your kids' healing, which is why you don't have much left. And you're probably putting a lot of your finances and a lot of that investment into your child's healing as well. But I'll tell you, you want to optimize that time. You want your kiddo to get better faster, and you want to literally see incredible changes with your own health so you don't run into all sorts of bills and stuff later on when your health goes to the side, unfortunately. Every one of our practices does something, or not every, but I want you, if you haven't yet started or you're under care for your kiddos at a PX Docs office. Yes, I'm talking to all of my homies in closing on this one, and you haven't started yet. January is the best time. It's the depths of winter. We do something. Most offices do a gift of health. Everybody does it different as to the amount of savings and how they do it and whether they do it or not. But I want you to say, you know what? I listened to Friday's episode about the 6 benefits of me, a stressed out, worn out, wound up adult getting adjusted. Say this to your PX doc. Can you get me under care? Ask them if they're doing the gift of health. If you get this later, outside January, outside that season where we do this, we always do it with New Year's resolutions. Most of our offices all year long have something called VIP, which means your family, your kiddos are already under care, and now you're ready to get started to. Just ask them. Say, hey, do you have something going on for the family? Because that's how we run a lot of the operations within our practices, is we make sure from everything from timing to finances that it's easier to get additional family members and to get mom and dad under care as well, because it really is that companion pass and that cheat code to you experiencing miracles and massive benefits. And then it really, really adds up to incredible care for your kiddo as well. All right, everybody, God bless, be well. We're coming at you every Tuesday, every Friday. Keep sending your questions in. I love going through this stuff. I love knowing the whole family. Remember, mom and dad, you too. TOO. Let's go. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Do you have a question that you would like to submit? Either send it to support@pxdocs.com with the subject Ask Dr. Tony, or head on over to our socials @pxdocs, where you can submit your question in our stories every single week. Every kid counts and every family counts, so let's leave no questions left unanswered. If you loved this episode and you want to help us reach more kids, we would so appreciate if you left a review and a rating on your favorite platform. God bless. Be well. We'll see you on the next one.